I let the cat out of the bag. Everybody knows our news, and I am so excited. Like, I was very touched today with everybody's responses. She's still crying. Trying to get my babies down for bed right now before we eat dinner, and yeah, I have a lot on my mind and my heart, and today I worked out, so I feel like that's why I have so much energy, because I worked out today, and I have not even walked. Like, I haven't done anything for the last 3 weeks. This is long before I even knew I was pregnant, but now I understand why I've been so like fatigued and just exhausted and everything. And but anyways, today I got some steps in, and I feel like super ready to like go skating or something. Yeah, I wanted to share this book by Grantley Dick Reed. This book, you guys, is phenomenal for anybody who's about to give birth. It's not a quick read. It's very meaty, but my gosh, like, what a beautiful book, and so well written, and my goodness. He speaks about like getting rid of fear for childbirth, like preparing yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and how we were created. This is what we were created to do. Maybe not every single woman, but for those of you who are pregnant and are about ready to give birth, I highly recommend this. What I love about his book is how empowering it leaves you feeling, and how like reassuring to yourself as a woman and who God has like created you to be, like when you're carrying a baby, and just the mind prep, like, oh my gosh, it's just so good. Like, I swear, whenever I hear someone around me is pregnant, I just want to like send them this book. Anyways, you guys, oh my gosh, life has been great. Each day has had its own challenges, just because I'm just so like exhausted. Like, I can't explain. And well, I can't explain now, I know why, but it's just like, whoa. And I have to give myself grace, because I just like beat myself up, like, you're being lazy, Rachel, like, get up, when all I want to do is just like sit and breathe and chug water. I've been chugging water like a camel, and I'm not even breastfeeding yet. And I literally almost got rid of this thing like a week ago when I was like purging randomly. And I'm so glad that I kept it, because seriously, I've been chugging it and filling it up all day long. I just got some electrolytes too in the mail. So I think that that's helping me feel like replenished and hydrated. I did some laps around the house, or not the house, the backyard, and I got to do stairs with some weights, because my arms are getting a little fluffy, and I just found out I'm pregnant. So I want to just, cover my bases, make sure that I make healthy choices, and I'm just so excited. I can't wait to go to my first appointment. It is December 1st, and we will find out. We won't find out like if I'm having a singleton child or twins that day, because they won't do a scan. They're gonna wait till the second appointment, because they said that the first appointment's gonna take so long doing blood work and all that. But I still haven't made up my mind whether or not I want to deliver in the hospital or at home. I would love to do an at-home birth. I wanted to with the twins. My past babies that I had 3 years ago were twins, and you're considered high risk when you're a mom of twins, when you're carrying twins. And I was like totally gung-ho to like just stay home and just have them in the bath. And my cousin, who is a doctor, highly encouraged me not to do that, and she said, out of all of the things that you're hoping for, like, just don't do that, just in case. And you know what, I'm so glad that I didn't, just because my first child that came out naturally, and it was so euphoric, and that's a whole story for itself. But then baby B, my pearly girl, she came out 2.5 hours later, and they tried for 2.5 hours to turn her in my womb and get her head down, because she had flipped when my son came out. And so anyways, I'll get into that story another time, but I'm just so glad because they had to cut her out of me. And if I would have been home, that could have changed a lot of things. And so you just never know. But I am so gun ho for a home birth. And I just got to like pray about it and, just see what the Lord wants for me. And I know He knows my heart. So I have 5 children. My Hazel, who is 8 years old, and then I have a daughter named Sadie, who is 6 years old. Shepherd is 5 years old. Boris and Pearl are 3 years old. And we just found out that we're going to have another baby or babies. And I'm really excited because the past 2 months, for the first time, I began having this like deep desire to have another child. And it was weird. Like I questioned myself because I'm like, do I just want another baby because I miss that time of life? Like I've always enjoyed being pregnant and carrying our babies from newborn to, and my twins are getting older, and I didn't know if it was that or being around a lot of my friends that have young kids or babies. And I thought maybe that could be an add to the desires that I was feeling. But every time I would talk to my honey about it, we would both come down to the conclusion of we're just both tapped. And like, maybe this isn't the right time. And by the 3rd conversation that I had with Daniel, like a few weeks back, I had let him know. I said, babe, it's okay if it's no, but I wanted to just get this off my chest. Like, I have a deep desire for us to have another baby. Like, what do you think? Is this really it? Are we really done? Because if so, that's fine. I just needed to make sure that I got this off my chest so I don't ever regret not saying anything. Because I'm 37 years old and I'm thinking, like, if we were to have another child, I wouldn't want to wait. Not that like you literally get to pick and choose, but like, are we gonna try to have another baby? And we came down to the conclusion of no again, and not right now, and probably never. And so that kind of like broke my heart, and I cried. And then my honey felt so bad. He's like, babe, am I squashing your hopes and dreams? And I was like, well, no, you're not, but I don't know why I'm taking this so hard. Like, I think I just realized like, okay, I should be grateful for the 5 children that we already have, which I am, but like maybe I need to be more grateful and content. But I never felt like complete. Fast forward like a week and a half later, I'm on my 3rd week of feeling sick, but now I'm getting like nauseous, and like every time I get up, I feel like my blood level is dropping. And it was Veterans Day, and I was on the phone with my mom, kind of complaining to my mom because she's in California right now, and we live all the way in Tennessee. And I said, Mom, I'm just so tired, and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, maybe you're pregnant. And Daniel said when he was hearing me speak to her, he thought the same thing, like maybe Rachel's pregnant right now. So when we got home, it was around like 5 p.m. and I told him I have to take the biggest nap. I'm exhausted. So I climbed into bed. I knocked out. He ran to the store, got groceries for our kids to make dinner. And when I woke up, I was like, hi, babe. Like, it smells so good. And he's like, I got you a pregnancy test. I just want you to just take it just so we can cancel it out, like, because you've been feeling sick. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, okay. So I take the pregnancy test and I put it on its side. And usually for the other babies, we look at the pregnancy test together, whether we're like wanting a child or thinking that we're just going to do a check off. We always look at it together, so we can be surprised together. Like, that's just how we are. And before I could even stand up and to like grab the test, the bold positive was so deep that I was like in shock because it happened like that fast, like within 3 seconds. Like, as I peed, I laid it down, I finished peeing, and then I turned around to grab it, and all I saw was a plus. And I was like, whoa, And so I ran to Daniel, ran down the hall, dodging my kids who were wildly playing with each other with my like life flashing before my eyes, and I was just like, we're pregnant, like, oh my gosh, like, but I felt like this like guilt because I knew that him and I weren't on the same page for the first time ever. So I was really like not afraid to tell him because he's like the kindest soul, but like I felt bad because I knew that he's just tapped out like I am, but you know. So I run into the kitchen and his back is facing me and he's making the kids ramen, and I'm like looking at the back of him like ready to say like we're pregnant, and all he does is he has like a note in his hand and he hands it to me behind his head, and it says baby number 6. I'm happy. This is good. It's all going to be okay. And honestly, this is for the best. Praise God for life. Don't tell your parents. Oh my gosh. That really like meant a lot to me, but it's like he already knew. Like he knew we were pregnant. So our take back that night of just getting the kids down, not telling them, trying to keep this like surprise and just this shock. And we hugged and kissed, of course, but like we talked about it later, and Dan and I said, babe, like, are you okay? Like, do you really feel okay about all of this? Like, I know it's been a lot, like, lately, and we haven't had the help that we usually normally have. Like, my parents have been gone, but they're coming back in 2 weeks, and we have people that we know, and it's just been a blessing. And he's like, no, I'm excited. Like, I think that by you trying to talk to me the last couple months, like maybe that was God trying to soften my heart because he knew that this baby was coming, because we weren't trying to like have a baby. We thought we were being very, very careful, but I just love that Daniel wrote that little letter because it gave me the peace that I needed. And for that guilt to kind of just like fall to the ground, like it's okay, you know, because it takes two. But anyways, God knew, and we're just so ecstatic. Like we're stoked, and we told the family today, we told friends, and everyone is just so supportive, and it's been really neat to see. We cannot wait for our first appointment. I cannot wait. And then obviously I can't wait for the second appointment to really make sure like who all is in there.